to start, this recipe requires 2 medium onions, which of course, you know, how do you decide what's medium? But I'm going to go with this amount, and I'm going to show you my method of cutting onions. I'm going to be using a mandolin, so I'm going to cut these in half moons, and I peel off a good portion of that outer skin. Just always seems so tough, so it just seems like a lot of waste, but hopefully this will be enough onion. Tough. Get rid of that tough stuff. Alrighty. I'm going to be using a mandolin. I purchased this new fairly recently. I had the amazing Ronco slicer dicer for about 30 years. I couldn't give it up. It still is sharp. And the reason being is this is like surgical grade steel. And with a knife, you're always coming in contact with the board, and this never gets dulled on anything other than vegetables. So they last forever. But the reason I upgraded was this has an adjustable built-in unit, and then I can also do batons and finely minced. That's the baton setting there. So you could do like French fries with this setting here. You can see that. Anyway, very dangerous. I try to get this out, use it, wash it, and put it right away. I have hurt myself on one of these, but they're so fantastic for slicing. You just belly your edges up together, and I do have a safety holder, but I'm very careful, cautious. All right, so take a look at that. So I'm going to be slicing these slit thin, and they're going to be frying in 2/3 oil. And what we want to do is get them crispy. Kind of think of like Jerky's fried onion without the batter. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to use grapeseed oil. If you've never used grapeseed oil, it has a high smoking point, so I like to turn this up to medium-high heat to get those onions caramelized, and they'll float. They kind of look like jerky onions that are all puffy when we're done. Now, this is 2/3 a cup of oil. Seems like a lot, but when it's dispersed amongst this whole pan, it's not too bad at all as far as portion control. Okay. Okay, I'm going to dump in the onions. We want to get those rendering, or not rendering, I should say, caramelizing. Now this will take a little bit, so be patient. In the meantime, we got a few other chores to do before we get this completed. Coat those onions. The moisture on the onions is going to steam off in this process. The onions are caramelizing, frying. I've got a little nub of ginger. I guess this to be about a table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate my ginger with an old-fashioned grater here. You could use coins, you could slice this, but I really like this to be into the meal. All right, so let's see how I did here. Hey, not bad at all. Look at that. Now let's see if I have a tablespoon of garlic. Looks like I might be a little shy. And I don't mind some chunks of garlic in there. All right, let's see. Should get close enough. Hey, not bad at all. It's good stuff. Okay, so that's ginger garlic. They also sell a ginger garlic paste, but it is not the same, and some of them have a vinegar base. So I always stick with fresh if possible. All right, so now, next we need the star of the show. This is called KALONJI or NIGELLA onion seed. Or if you were to plant this, it would grow the flower love in a mist. So we just need a tablespoon of that. I'm sorry, a teaspoon of that. We need a teaspoon, turmeric, teaspoon of chili powder. Now you can adjust this. If you would prefer less than a teaspoon for less heat, that would be how you do it. Tablespoon of salt. Actually calls for a tablespoon and a half. So the onions are still getting crispy. Probably turn the heat up a little bit, but we'll just take our time with it. Don't want to scorch it. Good to have a heavy bottom vessel for this particular cooking project. Now right about now I can add my spices. Add ginger garlic, salt, hot chili powder, KALONJI, and turmeric. And they're going to bloom in the oil, and it's going to smell heavenly. So what you want to do is just gently incorporate those. Now you might think cooking with turmeric would stain the bottom of this vessel, but it doesn't. I suppose over time, and a lot of use, when the vessel starts to craze a little bit, get that cracking in the bottom, I suppose it'll start seeping in then. But for right now, it's doing a great job. Okay. So now I've got a double portion of tomatoes. I'm going to use half this can. If you had regular whole tomatoes, you would just finely dice them, and you would spend your time like mushing them up against the side so they would incorporate. All that remains is 2½ cups of basmati rice. You want to gently coat each grain of rice in the sauce. Get some oil on the rice. Helps it maintain its little shape. I've had it blow out the rice before, and it doesn't really matter. Everybody loves it. So if you're a rice aficionado, I'm sure you'll know what to do. If you're a hungry person, you'll know what to do. Simply water. 2½ cups of water. The rice was supposed to be 2¼ I think. I said 2½, but it was properly measured at 2¼ Nice little stir to incorporate. I like to get this to come up in temp a little bit. You see minimal boiling action. Then we'll turn this down, lid it, and come back in about 20 minutes. So I see some bubbling. We don't want any scorching on the bottom, so we will go ahead and lid it and turn it down. Ooh, looking good. All right, I'm going to turn this off. Let it sit.